steal my client's funding strategy to get 162K in funding from 9 banks that we went to for this client. At least if you watch all the way to the end, you'll be able to see that. And I'm going to break down exactly what data points that the client had and all the details in between so you can steal this strategy. So without any further ado, let's get it. What's going on? It's Colin Brown here from Business Credit Unlimited. I'm back. Before you get to skipping or doing anything else, make sure you hit the like button right now, because who else is putting it down like this from experience? A lot of people talk, a lot of people watch videos and replicate what they see, but from experience, who else is going in and telling you exactly what data points you need to have in order to get 100K plus in business funding to either start, grow, or scale your company? Nobody else is putting it down like this. So make sure you like the video right now and comment any questions that you have once you get at the end, or right now. Comment what state you're in and what business you are looking to either start, grow, or scale. I've been asking this for like the last 3 times now. Come on now, y'all. Go ahead and comment. I know y'all watching, so go ahead and comment. Let me know what state you are representing and what business you are start, growing, or scaling. Now, let's get to it, y'all. So this is the client's profile. At least this is what it looks like now. I'm going to go back and show you what it looked like when the client first came in about 45 days ago or so. So we look at the main overview. The client's credit scores was 767, 772, and 744. So actually, let me copy this so we can see what the client scores. Row below what the client scores are now. So you see the client. Let's see. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. So the client's credit scores increase 50 points with TransUnion, 51 with Experian, and then 57 with Equifax. So how is that? Well, when the client first came in, they actually had higher utilization. Okay. So we went in and we actually got a personal loan to take care of this, right? And that's one thing that I really don't market that much, but the average client's credit score increases around 35 to 50 plus points once they sign up with us, with the different tweaks that we make between credit limit increases and personal cards when it's needed, lowering utilization, showing you different hacks with that, or just between the different strategies that we do on the personal side to get you ready for business funding. Normally we see a 35 to 50 point plus increase on the personal side before we even ever go after funding. So you're going to come in, an increase too with inquiry removal. So normally that's what we see. So you're going to come in better than you were before, at least that's if you work with us. But either way, yeah, the client came in 767, 772, and 744. They had higher utilization, so their utilization at that time was around 30%. Now it's, let me go to the new one. This is a new one, and now it's around only 1%. So they're at like 1%. And you see their total credit limits increased too, because we got credit limit increases, and I believe we added one more card too as well. So it increased their total credit limits, which was great. So it put them in an even better position to go after funding, because they were already in a good position beforehand from a score standpoint. But I'm going to nitpick a little bit here. But they were already in a good position, but that made it even better. So the lesson for you is that if you're going for business funding, stop the emotional, just out of nowhere, unstrategic applying. You just applying. You don't even know what you're doing. You just winging it on the applications. You don't know what bank you should be going to first. Like, you have to be strategic first. Write down what banks you're going to go to first before you ever even do it. You need to know your full sequence beforehand, right? Because that way you've thought everything out. When we create a funding strategy for a client, we know every single bank that we're going to go to, even if we have to wait 45 days or 90 days or 30 days or what have you before we apply because of the tweaks we need to make. But we already know what banks we're going to go to within 48 hours, right? So when a client comes in within 48 hours, we know exactly what banks they're going to go to. You won't probably be able to do that in 48 hours, but at least you need to take some time beforehand to be able to select what banks you want to go to first and build your strategy behind that. Because if you don't do the strategic, you're going to leave so much money on the table. Instead of being able to take the same file, I could take the same file that you could do by yourself and get 50K and get 150K just from the tweaks that we make. All right. Or you get 100 by yourself. I probably can get you 200, 250 or so by yourself. So just keep that in mind. Anyways, if you're doing this yourself, though, and you only want 50, you still need to be strategic and be careful about what banks you go to and when. And also just make sure you're prepping before time, like doing your credit limit increases, adding your cards if you need to, paying out your cards to the right utilization if you need to, so on and so forth. Okay. Remove an increase if you need to. Now, so that really raised up their credit score. Now, I said I would nitpick here. So if I was building a perfect profile, I would want the oldest cards to be older than 4 years. 4 years is definitely not bad at all, but I would want the profile to be even older, which in this case doesn't really matter at 162K, but still, if I'm being picky here. Not over 524. So that means that the client was not just excessively applying for cards and things like that before they came in. Highest credit limit is 28K, which is amazing. That really helps you get approved for higher limits on the business side. Now, no derogatories, 38 accounts. So the profile is seasoned. It's thick enough. It's good to go. Okay, hard increase. We're going to get those TransUnion removed, and then only 2 on Experian, 0 with Equifax. What they start out at? Hard increase, 0. Yep. So we're going to remove those increase for the client once they get in. That wasn't all the inquiries that we did, but either way, client has some increase from something else that they had to do. But either way, another thing about the client is that this client is actually generating revenue for the company, and they're based out of Pennsylvania. So just putting those extra tidbits in there so you will know, just based on the banks that we're looking at, if you're in Pennsylvania, you know that you possibly could go after some of the same banks that we went after. Okay, we went over credit utilization a little bit here. Again, credit utilization here is low. 1% is amazing. You don't have to be at 1%, but 3 to 9% is definitely the best. You want to have a high limit personal credit card, and you want to have at least 25K plus, depending on how much funding that you're going for. I mean, if you're only going for like 25, then you could get away with having like 10K total credit, right? And if you only, like for us, if I'm bringing someone in, they need to at least be looking for 50K plus. So like if you're not even looking for that, then it's best to just watch this YouTube channel here and then pick on some of the strategies and then try to do it yourself. But if you want to like really crank things up, that's when you actually seek out to work with someone. But if you're like, you only need like 25K or something, anything less than 50, then you just look at the videos here on this page. It should get you to where you need to be at. But if you're looking to get 100K plus, you want to have a higher total credit limits when you add all your personal credit cards together. Now, that is pretty much it that I wanted to go over for the client as far as just some of the different data points and different things like that. You see, they stopped applying for cards like 2 years ago, which is great. Like if you have a bunch of personal credit cards, that's why when you're adding personal credit cards, you really have to be selective. And you don't want to just apply for stuff. A lot of times, again, you're just doing these emotional, like just desperation applications. That's what I call them, desperation applications, where you're just applying for things because you feel like you need them. Don't do that. And especially on the personal side, you guys are applying for personal credit cards just because you saw an Instagram post or you saw a YouTube post where somebody is like, hey, this credit union is giving out this much. So you're just applying for no reason. Then it hurts you when you're trying to go for business funding. You don't want to do that. Now, let's continue. So let's get down to it. Let's go to the banks. A lot of y'all, this is the only reason you even watching. You don't care about the data points. You like, let me see what banks you went to. So let's do it. Now, the banks that we went to here and the results that we got. So we start out, like I said, with a personal loan for $35K. We use that cash to pay down on their personal credit cards, would put them in a position to go for funding. Then we went from Chase. Chase is normally a lot higher than 20K, but we're going to go back and fix that and go for even higher, of course. So when you see, like, every time everything doesn't happen the exact way that you want when it comes to funding. Like, we've had times where clients got limits from banks that it's like 2 times higher than what we normally get from a client. And then the bank that we think is going to give them the higher limit, it's like kind of meeting the expectations, like right at the minimum. It's like, we normally get 50K here and they got 25K or something like that. It's okay as long as you know how to make it up on the back end with the other banks. And that's what happened here. But this is all part of the strategy, though. That's what we do, too. Like, if you ever get a lower limit, you need to know how to strategize around that. Don't just give up. Like, if you get a lower limit or you get a denial, you need to know how to go back to that same bank, fix the things that prevented you from getting a higher limit or getting approved, and then go back and apply again. All right. So we got the Truist Bank. I don't even know the approval yet because the client just got approved for it. So I really could have waited to see. That would have made the video even juicier, especially if they get like 25K. That would be, 187K. But it's all good. We just got the news that they got approved for the Truist card, but we did not get the limit as of right now. The second I'm recording this, but it's all good. So we went to Truist too as well. PNC, which is 22K. We went to Key Bank and got 40K between the business line of credit and the business credit card. And the cool thing is that the line of credit was no docs. So 35K in cash that the client can use to grow and scale their business. I got my retainers in today, y'all, so bear with me. Citizens, we got 35K from them too as well. American Express Gold, we put 2K here because that's the 0% pay over time limit. However, the client can use more than 2K on that card, just to let you know. So technically, the spending power for that is probably going to be over 20K, but just for the sake of this, I'll put 2K. Pending is a line of credit from American Express. We're going to do that. Bank of America, we did not get approval here. Again, just being straight up, we didn't. But we're going to fix what caused. We know exactly what caused the denial. We're going to fix that and then go back in. And that'll be another 20 to 40K right there. U.S. Bank is pending. And then we got a Wells Fargo. The Wells Fargo business credit card was 8K. And then we're going to go for the business line of credit with Wells Fargo too as well. Okay. And that one is pending. So going to go for that sucker later. Okay, so that's the banks that we went to. Oh, and we have a local credit union that the client already had that we're going to go after too, but that's going to be after we cycle through the banks that we already have for them. So that's how this client got 162K. All of this funding they have used for their business so far. So it's been amazing. Again, and 50 plus points in their credit reports. And this all took like 30 to 45 days. And now we're on the tail end. We're just kind of tweaking these last few banks and the different things that we need to do. The client's going to be done. They're going to finish with over 200K in funding. So they're going to be good to go. And that's the thing, you guys. I just had someone ask me, like, why should I work with you? Especially if I already know how to get funding myself. The thing is that you're not going to do this as fast as we would. It's just impossible. If you could do it fast like we would, you would already have done it. Like, you wouldn't be waiting around for it. So your mind could trick you to think that you know things better than what you do. Like, if you don't know how to literally select what banks you want to go to and do everything from A to Z as far as like the application. You know exactly what to put on the application. You know when to apply. You know how to remove your increase or how the increase play a part in the approval. What banks are looking for when it comes to increase, how many you need to have before you apply, how long you need to wait, do you need to open a business checking account or not? If you don't know all those questions or the answers to all those questions before you apply, you do not know it like us. And those things, I promise you, look at me, look at me. I promise you will make the difference between getting over 100K or 150K plus and doing that in, less than 30 days sometimes or 30 to 45 days versus you taking all year to do the same thing that I can accomplish in 30 to 45 days. So I'm just only saying that because that's literally a question that I got. And he actually watches his page, so shout out to him if he ends up watching this and knowing that I'm talking about him. But either way, that is pretty much it. You guys, comment below if you have any questions about the funding strategy or my approach to this profile. Let me know. And again, let me know what state you're representing and what business you are either start, growing, or scaling your company with funding. And that's pretty much it, guys. See you in the next one. Peace.